What if Eddie Brock aka Venom was in Gotham City? Would the symbiote Venom survive against the threat of both Batman and his rogue gallery? Stay tuned for today's multiverse episode of What If the Venom was in Gotham City instead of his original universe. In the original Sony-verse, Eddie Brock was a reporter who was investigating the Life Foundation and its CEO, Carlton Drake. However, in this multiverse, Eddie Brock himself was a reporter, but in Gotham City instead. He works for the Gotham Gazette. Most of his background would be the same, where he is a popular journalist and is engaged to his fiancée Anne Wang, as Eddie was investigating the criminal activities of Carmine Falcone, one of the underworld's top criminal mobsters. Eddie was hitting a roadblock. He wasn't sure how to produce a popular story that could expose Carmine's actions for good. Eddie decided to go undercover and spent the night outside one of Carmine's potential warehouses. At the same time, there were several comets that were crashing down onto Earth. One of the comets had a symbiotic life form, just like in the original story of Venom. As Eddie was scoping for some pictures of Carmine's men carrying out illegal activities of weapon trafficking, he felt a huge tremor from inside of his car. Eddie looked up and saw that a comet was crashing down in that direction. He quickly got away from his car as the comet crashed directly into where Carmine's men were. All of Carmine's goons were killed in the comet blast. Nobody survived. Eddie himself was stuck under one of the debris. He brushed it aside and was horrified to see everyone else was slaughtered there. Eddie calmed down and started taking pictures of the surrounding. He saw the comet hatched and something of a black liquid started flowing out. Eddie approached it nearer, but then he heard someone telling him to put his hands up. Eddie turned around, and it was none other than Falcone himself. Falcone with several of his men arrived, but were not within the range of the comet blast. Falcone said that he recognized Eddie as the journalist. Falcone then aimed his gun at Eddie, and was about to shoot him when they heard a sound. A black goo emerged from the comet, and went onto the direction of Falcone's men. They started firing at the black goo, but their bullets were useless. The black goo then went onto one of his men, and possessed him. The man, however, died within seconds, and the goo went on to others. Falcone started running away while his men were killed. Eddie was shocked at what happened and was frozen. The black goo went onto him as Eddie screamed. As Eddie accepted the black goo, he felt something weird was happening to his body. Eddie heard a voice in his head telling him that he is Venom, and that he is a symbiote, which surprisingly bonded well with Eddie as its host. Eddie didn't know what was going on and felt uneasy. He turned around, and the symbiote saw Falcone running away. Eddie leaped towards Falcone before taunting him. Falcone shot several bullets at Eddie, but they were useless. Eddie then transformed into his full Venom symbiote. Venom grabbed Falcone by the neck and said that it is hungry. Eddie tried to fight with the symbiote when he realized that Venom wanted to eat Falcone. Falcone was too shocked from what happened that he passed out. Eddie fought internally with Venom and said that it would be too disgusting to eat a human being. Eddie managed to get control over Venom and grabbed his camera. He took pictures of the comet blast, Falcone's men who were dead, and the destruction surrounding it. Eddie then called the police and informed them of Falcone's actions. He placed the pictures of Falcone's doings with him and left. Eddie went back home and tried to understand of what happened. He started talking to its symbiote and soon understood of everything that happened. Eddie was wondering of what he could do with his newly obtained powers. In addition to getting interesting news scope for his newspaper, Eddie decided to hunt more of the criminals and kill them. While Gotham City already has a protector, Batman, but Eddie feels that Batman's methods of defeating and sending them back to Arkham does not solve the issue. He felt that with his new powers that he should be able to at least reduce some of the crimes. Since Venom needs to feed, the criminals would be his choice for now. Soon, the crime rate in Gotham reduced by 20%, and most of the petty criminals were already killed. Several of Gotham City's mobsters like the Penguin and Black Mask were using the opportunity to get a stronger hold of the criminal underworld. Alfred, meanwhile, informed Batman that the crime rates were reducing at a steady rate despite him not busting them. In fact, those criminals seemed to have vanished, much to the surprise of Batman. Batman thought that Killer Croc might have gone crazy and ate the criminals, but he was still in Arkham Asylum. Batman then decided to track down the killer of the criminals. Batman then received a tip that several of the Penguin henchmen were present at an art auction. He deduced that the Penguin attempts to steal the most expensive art that was present at the auction. The art was worth at almost $20 million. Batman went under his disguise as Bruce Wayne and attended the auction. At the same time, Eddie was also hired to take pictures of the art auction. As the art auction was going on, they were then interrupted with gunshots. As expected, several of Penguin's goons were there. Bruce couldn't change immediately to Batman, as he was in the eye of the public. He was about to activate his Batmobile when he saw a large creature which had white eyes and was black in color emerged. The creature was pretty mobile and could easily leap across the hallway. It grabbed the shooters and ate them. Eddie, while still being able to control Venom, told him not to make a big scene out of it. They needed to just kill the criminals and get away with it quickly. Venom then killed all of the remaining shooters before fleeing away. Bruce also fled the situation and managed to exit the auction. He changed into the Batman and pursued Venom. Batman eventually caught up with Batman at the back of the street alley where Eddie was talking to himself while in Venom's body. Venom then told Eddie that they have company and turned around. Batman asked who it was and it said that we are Venom. The only Venom Batman knew was the Venom which was injected into Bane. Venom then said that he doesn't want to fight with Batman, as he only deals with criminals. Batman then said while he appreciates Venom keeping the crime rate low, but his actions are not acceptable. Killing the criminals would make him the same as them. Batman then threw his batarang towards Venom, but it was easily deflected. They then engaged in close quarters combat, but Venom's strength overpowered Batman. Venom then went in rage and managed to hit Batman hard till he flew towards a car. Venom told him not to be bothered about him and fled. Batman knew that although Venom had good intentions to reduce crime, but his methods cannot go on. He decided to retreat temporarily to the Wayne Manor. There, he started looking up on the creature that he has just fought. Eddie, meanwhile, decided to go for the big fish. He started targeting the Penguin and the Black Mask. If he could eradicate these two big guns, the criminal underworld will be sent to chaos. Venom started to attack the Black Mask's base and his territories. Guns and bullets were useless against him. Venom hardened his skin before started ripping apart the criminals. The Black Mask was horrified as he has never seen such an onslaught. In the end, the Black Mask was cornered and was eaten by Venom himself. The next day, the news reported that the Black Mask along with his entire crew were all slaughtered. This presented an opportunity for the Penguin to seize the absence of Black Mask. But the Penguin was in for a surprise. The Penguin was also hunted down and killed by Venom easily. None of Penguin's tricks or games would work against him. Batman received news that both the Black Mask and the Penguin were being killed by Venom. But instead of the crime rate decreasing, the crime rate started going back up. Smaller crooks started teaming up together and raided the balance of Black Mask in Penguin's base. Eddie, meanwhile, started panicking as he felt that Venom was already going out of hand. If he kept on feeding on humans' brains, he will not be able to suppress it one day and could kill innocent people. Venom decided that he will stop once and for all after he has killed all the petty criminals. Batman knew that Venom would be heading to clean up the mess that he created. As Venom arrived at the last of Black Mask's hideout, he saw that Batman was already there. Batman told Venom to stand down, but Venom said that he couldn't as this was started by him. He thought that by killing the main criminals, crime would be able to be reduced drastically, but things went south, and now there were many small criminals taking the opportunity. Venom was then shot at the back with a shotgun. It was one of Black Mask's goons. Venom turned around and was about to kill him, but not before Batman threw a smoke batarang at him. It exploded and smoke gas was released. Batman then dropkicked Venom before started attacking him. Batman this time has equipped his suit to be stronger than his previous battle with Venom. He has also researched on several ways to defeat alien form, but he has yet to try it out. As they were battling, Venom was gaining the upper hand, but Eddie told it to suppress his hunger and not kill Batman, as Batman is one of the good guys. As Eddie and Venom were conflicted among themselves, Batman then decided to activate his freeze gun, which he has retrieved from Mr. Freeze during their past battles. However, the ice barely hurt Venom, Venom then grabbed the gun and crushed it before hurling Batman towards a nearby car. But there was a gas leak and Batman was still recovering from the mild concussion he had. Eddie's conscience kicked in and he quickly grabbed Batman on time. The gas leak then caused the car to explode, which resulted in a huge explosion. The fire from the explosion caused the Venom symbiote to shriek. Batman recovered from his knockout and saw that the alien was in fact weak towards fire. Batman then told Alfred to call forth his Batmobile to his current location. Alfred then sent the Batmobile to the location. Batman decided to buy some time against Venom, who seemed very agitated but weakened from the explosion. Batman used his wits and tried to create more mini explosions to further weaken Venom. The Batmobile eventually arrived and Batman launched several mini rockets from it towards Venom, while Venom wasn't hurt from it, but the fire hurt him badly. Bruce then decided to bring forth a sonic gun that he has created to originally use it against Superman for contingency purposes. The sonic gun activated, and the deafening sound rays from it hurt Venom badly. Batman then saw the symbiote detaching itself from Venom and slowly creeping away. Batman stopped the gun and managed to get hold of a piece of the symbiote, but the rest of it fled away. He walked up towards the host of the symbiote and was surprised to see it was none other than Eddie Brock, the famous journalist and reporter of Gotham City. With Eddie out cold, Batman knew that he cannot interrogate Eddie. He decided to bring Eddie back to an abandoned building, but he is blindfolded. He also kept part of the Venom specimen to further study on it. Eddie woke up some time later, but couldn't see his surroundings. Batman then started interrogating a weakened Eddie, to which he confessed about everything. At first, he panicked that Venom is no longer with him or might be dead. Batman then said that Venom have disappeared away while he managed to obtain a part of the specimen. Eddie then cried that all he wanted was for crime to drop. He said that he doesn't agree with Batman's tactics of beating up the criminals, and they will be a repeat offender again. He said what is more worrying now is that with the Venom symbiote away from him, there is a chance that it might infect someone else who might be a lunatic, and that they needed to track it down as soon as possible. Bruce decided to uncover Eddie's blindfold and work temporarily to track down the Venom symbiote. Batman was studying the symbiote back in his Batcave while Eddie was using his journalism skills to find the symbiote. Using his instincts, he eventually stumbled across the sewers of Gotham City where he felt the symbiote was close. Eddie approached the symbiote closer, and he saw a large shadow looming over him. He turned around and was shocked to see it was the man who crushed the bat, Bane himself. But Bane looked very different. Not only was his physique much larger than usual, but he looked more ferocious. It was then Eddie realized that the Venom symbiote has bonded with Bane himself. Bane then transformed into Venom and started choking Eddie. Eddie was gasping for air and told Venom that it was him, Eddie Brock. The symbiote started not to choke Eddie that tight as it remembered its original host, Eddie. However, Bane, who was a maniac, managed to gain control of the host and grabbed Eddie tighter. Eddie was on the verge of death when he saw a bright light shining in its direction. It was the Batmobile with Batman in it. Batman then launched the sonic gun and it incapacitated the Venom symbiote badly as Bane succumbed to the ground. Batman used the advantage to fight against Bane, but Bane's mental resist was pretty strong. He injected his own original Venom inside his body to elevate his strength to superhuman levels, and managed to go toe-to-toe with Batman. The Venom symbiote crept away from Bane and was near Eddie. Eddie reached out to the symbiote slowly and told that he still wants to stick with Venom, but he doesn't want to eat or kill criminals, but they will continue crime fighting. The symbiote said no promises, but it would try. It then went and bonded again with Eddie Brock, as Bane and Batman were in a stalemate. Venom came from behind and ripped off the Venom that was injected inside Bane. Bane wasn't as strong as he was, and that gave the advantage to Batman to defeat him. Together, Batman and Venom defeated Bane. Batman called the Gotham Police Department to send Bane to Arkham Asylum once he was defeated. Eddie reverted to his usual self and fled away with Batman. Batman said that while Eddie might have saved his life while fighting Bane, his actions of killing the criminals were unforgivable. While Penguin, Black Mask with most of the criminal organizations have collapsed, they have no choice but to clean the mess of the smaller crooks. Batman said that he has researched the Venom symbiote and understood that while Venom doesn't need to necessarily consume human brains to sustain, there are two alternatives. Either Venom consumes a large amount of food to suppress his hunger, or consumes chocolate. Batman told Eddie to meet Bruce Wayne and said that Bruce will be more than willing to help Gotham's most famous journalist, Eddie Brock. He said that if Eddie doesn't kill anymore, he will consider Venom as a strong ally since Venom was like none other than he has encountered before. Sometime later, Eddie Brock has already suppressed the need for Venom to consume live human brains. Bruce Wayne sponsored a large buffet for Eddie daily. Eddie has joined crime fighting and has not killed a criminal since, while he wasn't part of the Bat family. The crimes in Gotham have dropped by 40% thanks to most small-timers defeated. Meanwhile, in an abandoned warehouse, the Joker was plotting his next target to get a piece of the Venom symbiote. The Joker wonders if his bonding with the symbiote could change him to be a more formidable villain against Batman. He merely laughs as he points his gun at his victim's head.